So we all know what it feels like to be in pain. None of us have gone through this life without at some point or another experiencing the raw sensation of discontent and discomfort. And in today's video, what I would like to do is bring into play a handful of tools and realizations that have been very, very useful for me for just staying strong and being able to grow through my difficulties rather than being held back by them. First of all, it is important to remember pain brings with it an illusion of stagnation. We presume that when we are exactly where we don't want to be, that the world has all of a sudden ground to this bitter halt and that nothing is moving forward. And it really helps to remember time is always moving forward. And because of that, you are progressively moving towards a version of yourself that is healing and that is getting better and is moving past this trauma or this pain or this upset. In each moment of experiencing discomfort, you are gradually weakening the pain itself. When you feel the initial pang of agony that has come along with whatever you're experiencing, this is the peak of the pain itself. And with every moment that passes, we are gradually moving towards a version of ourselves that is healed from the difficulty. The pain is always getting weaker and you are always getting stronger. Pain itself has an inherent gift to it. There is a quality to pain, and it comes in two forms. First of all, we are, whether we like it or not, going to experience extreme difficulty at some point or another in our lives. And it helps, rather than denouncing that, to accept that and to be prepared to meet this difficulty head on. And there is no way that is more prolific to doing this than to be prepared. And fortunately enough, whether we have asked for this or not, when we experience discomfort, we are being prepared for the next instance of that happening. It helps not to look at this in a pessimistic manner and think, this suffering never ends, there's going to be another thing that comes after this, but rather to look at the fact that life truly fulfilled is not one that is absent of pain, but one that is full of solutions. If you can enjoy your life in a manner where, rather than never experiencing discomfort of real magnitude, that you learn what it feels like to experience that pain and to work through it, that is a more virtuous and a happier life. Next thing, when you feel at the absolute worst and at your real low point, the last thing you should do is reach for the most simple joy. We will reliably do this, and understandably so, because the methodology and the train of thought that we follow is I am in pain and I do not want to feel in pain. And as a result of that, I'm going to try and do whatever gives me the most relief the fastest. And unfortunately, there is a horrific trade-off that comes with any synthetic joy. At exactly the time you want to reach for shit food or go on certain sites that you know you shouldn't be going on, or any of these joys that are reliably bad for us, it is important to remember that there is a moment that comes after the fact. When we think we want to just feel something better than what we're feeling, we can't just get there straight away. We have to be patient. Pain and suffering, as I mentioned before, is a part of life, and that you have to learn to be comfortable with that. You have to learn to exist amidst your troubles rather than constantly running away from them. Because the problem that comes from this desire to just alleviate yourself from your pains at all times is it's not possible. There is a moment and a time at some point where you will have to experience sheer discomfort. And I mean not to frighten by saying that, but I want to just provide some realism here that life is not always going to be happy and that is okay. And the most prolific means of accepting this is to not run away from it. And a lot of the time what we do is we will instill within ourselves some bad habits where we'll do things that make us escape from the thought. We are aware of the things that are healthy for us and the things that are unhealthy for us. And in the times when you are struggling, it helps to do what is actually right for you to do. You should continue to hold yourself to a good standard, but you shouldn't expect yourself to excel and to perform to this exceptional level, because you're setting yourself up for one of two forms of failure. First of all, you may well just not do what it was that you said you were going to do. And as a result of that, you will feel perilously guilty, and then you will castigate and ridicule yourself on top of life already giving you a difficult time. And secondly, you might find that you can perform to a level that is exceptional, and it's impressive that you can do that, but it is very likely that what will come next is a lowering of performance, and the next time you choose to do something, you'll either be too fatigued or too demoralized or too demotivated to continue the level, and you're just kicking the can down the road on this, that then you're going to feel guilty that now you're not performing to the same level you were. It helps when you are struggling to instill some basic principles of consistency. Choose something very small and simple and short and religiously stick to that. And what you will find from doing this is that there will be a narrative spun within your head that is a very healthy one. When you are struggling, it does help for you to do more than what it is that you want to do. Oftentimes we don't want to do anything, or we have a burst of fury that makes us really want to try. And there's a middle ground between the two that is wonderful, and it is that of consistency. Continue to do positive things for yourself, even when you don't feel like doing it. That is very useful. But in equal turn, don't ridicule yourself and make yourself feel guilty for not performing to the level you would otherwise perform at. You should do things that progress, because you will come out the other side much better for it. But do that with love and care and kindness to the self, that you know you're not feeling so good. And the story you must now tell yourself is, even though I'm not feeling good, I'm still just going to try this one thing that's just going to push me forward just a little bit more, and then congratulate yourself for doing that. A lot of the time we presume that when life is hard, that we need to get harder. And there is some truth to that, but more importantly, we need to have a good relationship with ourselves. When things are not going well, we need to show up for ourselves. And one of the most important parts of that is to just be the kindness that you need for yourself. Be there for yourself. There are a handful of things that I find particularly useful when it comes to just allowing me to move the needle, even when I really don't want to do much more than get out of bed. And they are as follows. First of all, meditation. I cannot talk enough about just how useful it is in the times of desperation to take that moment within yourself to just really observe what is going on in your head and develop that relationship with yourself. Go and download Waking Up. It is a fantastic app, and everything you need is in there, and it will be absolutely revolutionary for you. I cannot stress that enough. Next on the agenda, stretching or some form of soft exercise. Something where you can put some music in or put a podcast in and just relax into the state of flow. And the most important part of this is not to ask too much of yourself whilst this is happening. You're not going and trying to get a PR in the gym. You're just moving the body and showing yourself that even when times are tough, that you're going to put that care and that effort into yourself. That is the most important point here. It's about gradually just building a stronger and stronger layer that says, I keep showing up even when I don't feel good. And this is a fantastically rewarding feeling when you just move the body and take care of your physical form in this matter. I can't recommend that enough either. It's wonderful. I would strongly recommend that you buy yourself a watermelon, because I have found an absolutely tremendous amount of enjoyment from the feeling of satiation and health and virtue that I get from this wonderful piece of fruit. Try this. Just buy yourself a watermelon and stretch and meditate, and you will find a sincere amount of enjoyment from that. I think the encapsulating point that I'm going to sort of pin around those three things to bring them together is that when you are in pain, you need to do things that feel good, but you need to do things that feel good today and tomorrow, not just today. And a lot of the time we'll reach for these things that deplete our enjoyment of tomorrow. We'll feel guilty after the thing we do today. And I think it really helps to just develop a better relationship with the fact that if you're not feeling good, you obviously don't want to carry on feeling that way. And though time will push you in the right direction, you can sincerely develop and progress this constant by doing the things that you know to be healthy for you. So, to conclude, I think it is very important for you to remember that when life is difficult, that time is always progressing. And that is a wonderful thing because it means you are moving closer towards the sense of relief that you are after. It helps also to remember that you have the power to take the small, progressive steps that will push you in the right direction. And do not ask too much of yourself along this journey. Just stack small wins. And to add and to finalise with that, it helps to be aware of the fact that life will throw curveballs at you. And the one that you are experiencing at this point in time is a gift. It makes you more aware of the joy that you have, and it makes you more capable in future of dealing with the difficulties that are likely going to come your way. I hope that the examples that have been put into play today are useful for you and that they help when things are difficult. And to underline everything that comes of this video, it will be alright. I understand intimately well just how shit bad things feel, and it helps to just be aware of the fact that we all know how this feels, and you will come out the other side of this. Every bad thing you have ever experienced is now in your past, and that means that the thing you're experiencing now, or the thing maybe you're gearing up to experience as a result of watching this, will pass too, and you will get through it and you will be stronger for it. So, I hope this video has helped. See you later.